It's of Fox's New York set. What begins with polite laughter quickly spirals into tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Tonight, Greg Gutfeld welcomes Meghan Markle. At first glance, it looks like another celebrity interview. But within minutes, Meghan's sharp, dismissive replies and Greg's relentless prodding push the conversation into dangerous territory. By the time the audience realizes what's happening, it's no longer an interview, it's a showdown. The night opened like any other Gutfeld broadcast, a lively audience, a cheeky monologue, Greg leaning against his desk with that trademark smirk. But there was an extra charge in the air. The producers knew it, the cameraman knew it. Even the studio band seemed tighter, sharper. Because tonight's guest wasn't just another Hollywood name or political talking head. Tonight's guest was Meghan Markle. She entered to applause, dressed in a deep navy blazer over silk, posture straight, stride deliberate. To the casual eye she was poised, gracious, smiling with practiced elegance. But to anyone watching closely, there was something else, a flicker of tension in her expression, as if every step into that studio was a calculated act. Greg welcomed her warmly, though his smile carried a hint of mischief. "Ladies and gentlemen," he stretched the words, "give it up for someone who knows a thing or two about making headline as a broken bar, Meghan Markle." The crowd clapped politely, a few cheers cutting through. Meghan nodded, offering that polished diplomatic smile perfected over years before cameras. "Meghan, thanks for being here," Greg began, voice smooth, casual. "I've got to admit it takes guts to sit down with me. I haven't exactly been your biggest cheerleader, have I?" The studio laughed. Meghan tilted her head, her eyes narrowing just slightly. "Greg," she said evenly, "I think it's important to have conversations even with people who might not agree with me. That's how we grow, isn't it?" Applause broke out. Greg leaned back, tapping his pen against the desk. The silence lingered one beat too long before he pounced. "Speaking of growth, you've certainly grown your brand since stepping away from royal duties. From Duchess to producer to podcaster, you've made quite the business out of our broken bar. Well, your last name. How's that going?" A visible shift. Meghan's shoulders tightened, her smile thinning. "I don't see it as making a business out of anything," she replied sharply. "Harry and I have worked incredibly hard to build meaningful projects that give back. Reducing that to branding is reductive." Greg smirked wider. "Meaningful, huh? Like that $100 million Netflix deal? The Spotify podcast? The docuseries filmed in your Montecito mansion? Very meaningful." The laughter that followed was uneasy, scattered. Meghan's eyes hardened. "You're making it sound like using our platform for good is shameful. We've shared our experiences to help others who might be struggling. That's not profit to its purpose." Greg leaned in. "Your truth, right? Because that's the phrase you always use, my truth. Funny thing about truth, it usually doesn't need a pronoun, it's just truth. But when it's your truth, Meghan, isn't it really just your version?" The audience gasped softly. Meghan's hand gripped the armrest, her voice dropped cold. "Are you questioning my honesty?" "I'm questioning the concept," Greg shot back. "Take the Oprah interview. You talked about conversations regarding your son's skin color. That was your truth. Other royals had theirs. Which one are we supposed to believe?" The studio air grew heavy. Meghan's composure faltered. "You know what the problem is?" she snapped. "People like you turn painful, personal experiences into cheap sound bites. You're not interested in understanding. You're interested in ratings." Greg chuckled. "Come on, Meghan, I'm asking what millions of people at home are thinking. You've built an empire out of victimhood, and sure you've done well with it. But that's not truth. That's strategy." The room gasped. Meghan sat straighter, her voice cutting sharp. "Victimhood, Greg? I endured relentless racist coverage. I received death threats. I was cut off from support when I needed it most. That's not playing victim, that's surviving." Greg pounced. "Then why not leave quietly? Why the tell-all interviews, the documentaries, the books? Why the need to remind the world, again and again, how badly you were treated?" Her voice rose, cracking through the tension. "Because silence protects the abuser, not the abused. I refuse to be silent about what happened. The studio buzzed, alive with unease. Greg's smirk grew sharper. And there it is, folks. The real Meghan Markle. Not the polished humanitarian. Not the smiling Duchess. But someone who sees oppression everywhere but in her own privilege. Meghan half rose from her seat, fury flashing in her eyes. You want to talk privilege? Sitting here mocking my pain, profiting off cruelty, that's privilege. Greg gasps. Applause. Chaos brewing. The first round was fired. The battle was only beginning.